Morning students, I am Professor P.S. Ende, Department of Mechanical Engineering, V.K. Patil Polytechnic, Loni. Today in this lecture, in second lecture, we are going to see the unit number 1, that is Fundamentals of Thermodynamics, which has a weightage of 8 marks in the examination. Let's see the subtopics of the syllabus. Basic concepts, concepts of pure substance, types of systems, properties of systems, extensive and intensive properties, that is very important for the examination point of view. Then the flow and on-flow processes, specific volume, temperature, density, pressure, processes and cycles. Then the very important second component, second topic, that is energy, heat and work. Work, heat transfer, energy, thermodynamic definition of work and heat, difference between heat and work. Then different types of energies, that is potential energy, kinetic energy, internal energy. Then the flow work, concept of enthalpy and the physical concept of entropy. Then the third topic, that is laws of thermodynamics. There are 2 to 3 laws. The very important first law is zeroth law. Then first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, Kelvin-Planck statements, Clausius statements and their equivalence, reversible and irreversible processes, factors making process irreversible, reversible Carnot cycle for heat engine and refrigerator. Then very important for the examination point of view, this question, the question on this topic is asked in every examination, that is the steady flow energy equation and its application to the second law of thermodynamics. There is the application of SAP, that is steady flow energy equation, to the boilers, engines, nozzles, turbines, compressors and condensers, as well as the application of second law of thermodynamics to the heat engine, then heat pump and refrigerator. Now, dear students, we are going to see the definition, exact definition or the meaning of thermal engineering. If we see the word thermal, we will get therm, T-H-E-R-M, that is the Greek word, and that therm means a temperature. That means this engineering is related to the temperatures. If we see the definition, then we can define that thermal engineering as it is a branch of heat engineering which deals with the conversion of heat into the other form of energy. That means in this subject or in this heat engineering, it is a branch of heat engineering. We are going to learn the conversion of heat into the other form of energy. That means the heat is converted into other form of energies. That study comes under the thermal engineering. Then the second concept, that is thermodynamics. It is the science of conversion of heat energy into the useful work or any other form of energy. That means it is a science. Thermodynamics means a science in which there is the conversion of heat energy. There is the conversion of heat energy into the work, useful work. That means there is heat energy is converted into the work or any other form of energy. That study comes under the thermodynamics. Then if we see the example of fuel, if we are burning a fuel, then the chemical energy of the fuel, after burning the chemical energy of the fuel, that is converted into the heat energy. If suppose we are taking the example of thermal power plant, then as we know, there is the production of electricity and the high pressure, high temperature steam which is used in turbines to produce the mechanical work. The high pressure, high temperature steam which is produced in boilers. So if we are burning a coal inside the boiler, then the chemical energy is converted into the heat energy after burning. Then after getting that heat to the, after giving that heat to the water, then that water get boiled, the steam is produced, high pressure, high temperature steam is produced. Then that steam is passed through the nozzles. the nozzle before the turbines, so that pressure energy is converted into the kinetic energy. Then that kinetic energy is converted into the mechanical work inside the turbine blades, and the mechanical work is, or the mechanical energy is produced in the turbines. Mechanical energy means the rotation of turbines or the turbine rotor. Then that mechanical energy is supplied to the generator. That means that generator is rotated by the turbine, so that there is the production of electricity, so that we can see the sequence of energy change. That means chemical energy, heat energy, pressure energy, then after kinetic energy, then the mechanical energy, then the electrical energy, so that we can say there is the conversion of heat energy into the other form of energy. So this is the syllabus of fundamentals of thermodynamics, as we have already seen. Then the concept of pure substance. This is the first point of the syllabus. Pure substance. Pure. That means the substance has a fixed and homogeneous chemical composition throughout its mass. Which substance we can say a pure? If that substance has a fixed and homogeneous chemical composition throughout its mass, so that we can say a pure substance. Then the examples: nitrogen, oxygen, helium, crystals of sugar, crystals of NaCl. In atmospheric air, steam, water mixture, combustion products of fuel are regarded as a pure substance. So in the simple language, you can define the pure substance as it is a substance which has fixed, that means that chemical composition not changing, that is fixed, and that is homogeneous. That means it doesn't contain any kind of impurities into the composition, so that we can say that substance as a pure substance. Then the next concept, that is thermodynamic system. Thermodynamic system. If you see the definition is like this: it is the finite quantity of matter or region in a space. It is a finite quantity. That means system has a finite quantity of matter, or it is a region in a space, where the transfer of mass as well as energy is possible. If you see this example, example of system where the system has a finite quantity, that means it has some matter, then it is a region in a space, then there is the transfer of mass as well as energy that is occurring. If you see the example of cylinder and piston, and gas is filled inside the cylinder here, then and the weight is placed on a piston, so that the pressure inside the cylinder must be kept constant. Then cylinder is a system, then the outer walls of the cylinder are the surrounding. Okay, then Then this dotted is given as a boundary where the mass of energy as well as the transfer of energy as well as mass is occurring, so that this we can say a system, because it has a finite quantity of matter as well as a region in a space where the mass and energy transfer is possible. Then boundary, if you see, there is a system has a outer enclosure, that enclosure we can say a boundary. System has a enclosure. If you see the example of a cylinder, the cylinder walls is an enclosure for a engine or the cylinder, so that it is acting as a boundary. Then if we take this hypothetical example or the diagram of system, boundary and surrounding and universe, then we can define the boundary as it is an actual or hypothetical enclosure surrounding the system. It is an actual or hypothetical enclosure. It is one of the type of enclosure that may be actual or that may be imaginary hypothetical enclosure that is surrounding the system. Then surrounding, what is surrounding? It is a region or space outside the boundary. It is the region or space which is contained outside the boundary. That space is known as the surrounding. Then universe, when the system, its boundary, its surrounding all are put together, then totally it consider as a universe. That means it is the cumulatively it is a system, boundary, its surrounding, whenever that are put together, then collectively it is known as a universe. Then the very important point for the examination point of view, that is types of systems. Then as we have already seen the definition of system, it is the finite quantity of matter or region in a space where the transfer of energy as well as mass is possible. Now that system has three types: open system, closed system, isolated system. Basically these three types are depending upon the transfer of mass as well as energy between the system and its surrounding. If there is a possibility of mass transfer as well as the energy transfer, then there is that type is another type. If that mass is remaining constant and energy is transferring, then there is again that another type. If both mass as well as energy both are not being transferred across the boundary of the system, from system to the surrounding, so that is also another type. Now we will see the open system. The definition of the open system states that when there is mass as well as energy transfer between the system and surrounding. As we have already discussed about the types of system, that means there is the transfer of mass as well as energy. If it is possible in any case of system, then that system is known as the open system. That means there is the transfer of mass as well as energy. Here if you see the diagram, here we can see there is, in the type of open system, mass is transferable as well as energy is also transferable from system to the surrounding. If we see the example of air compressor, in that air is coming inside the air compressor, that is get compressed, that is get heated, and that air is supplied to the reservoir. So that means there is the transfer of mass is the air. Then energy, that means that air get heated and that heat energy passes to the reservoir. So that this is the open system, in that both mass as well as energy both get transferred. Then the second type, that is closed system. In this type of system, the mass of the system remains constant. Mass of the system remains constant. That means the mass of the system, it doesn't get transferred across the boundary of a system, from system to the surrounding. But what is get transfer? In that only energy get transferred. In that only energy get transferred. In the second figure we can see here the mass of the system is remaining constant and only energy is transferring across the boundary from system to the surrounding. Then the practical, if we see the practical example of a cylinder which is filled with the gas, then the piston, the load is or the weight is applied over the piston so that the inside pressure is kept constant. Then the cylinder walls is the boundary for the total system, and the cylinder completely cylinder is the system. Then in this case there is only the energy is transferred from cylinder walls to the surrounding, but the inside gas that is remains constant. The mass of that gas remains constant, that is not supplied or transferred to the surrounding. So that in this case of closed system only energy get transferred, but not only the mass remains constant, energy get transferred. Then isolated system, in open system we have seen both mass as well as energy transfer. In closed system we have seen only energy get transfer, mass remains constant. In isolated system there is both mass as well as energy, both remains constant. That means nothing is transferred to the surrounding from the system. So that in the isolated system neither mass nor the energy transfer between the system and surrounding. Then such a type of system is known as isolated system. The thermos flask is the example, well-known example of isolated system, because in that, due to the material of the isolated material of thermos flask, there is no any transfer of mass, that means over the tea or whatever that is kept inside the thermos flask, as well as the heat energy of the tea to the surrounding. Now let us see the properties of the system. Properties. What is exactly the properties? Properties are the measurable characteristics. That means these are the characteristics that measurable. We can measure that characteristics of a system. According to the dependency of mass, the property has two types. First is the intensive property and second is the extensive properties. The intensive property which is independent of mass. The spelling of intensive is starting with the IN, and independent, its spelling also, that spelling also starting with the IN. That means intensive independent. Intensive properties means independent on mass. That doesn't depends on mass. So that type of property is known as intensive properties. Examples are the pressure, temperature, density, that are not depends upon the mass. Then the second type, that is extensive properties. The properties of a system that are depends on mass of the system, that is called as the extensive properties. If that property is depends upon mass, then that property is known as extensive property. Then examples: total volume, total mass, total energy, enthalpy, entropy, weight, etc. Then there is a relation between extensive property and intensive property. If extensive property is divided by the mass of the system, if extensive property of system is divided by mass of system, then we will get an intensive property, or the intensive property is the ratio of extensive property to the mass of the system. Then flow and non-flow processes. Thus, non-flow processes. The processes occurring in a closed system where there is no transfer of mass between the system and surrounding. That means, as we know that in the closed system there is no transfer of mass between system and surrounding. So such a type of process where there is no any transfer of mass between the system and surrounding. The process occur in a closed system where there is no transfer of mass between the system and surrounding. The type of flow process is known as non-flow process. In non-flow processes, the energy crosses the system boundary in the form of heat and work, but there is no mass flow in and out of the system. That means the only energy that can be able to transfer from system to the surrounding, but not the mass. Then flow process, obviously in that process there is the transfer of mass as well as the energy. That means this is occurring in an open system. So this is a type of process in which is also occurring in open system where there is the transfer of mass as well as energy between the system and its surrounding. That process is known as flow process. It may be noted that in a flow process, mass enters in the system and leaves after enhancing the energy. That means mass is coming with the energy, whether that energy is increased or decreased, that depends, but there is the changes in the energy that is transferred from system to the surrounding. Then flow process may be steady flow or non-steady flow. Steady flow process, that is example, flow through the nozzles, that means steady flow. Means their discharge is similar. So example are flow through the nozzles, turbines, compressors. Then non-steady flow processes are the filling or evacuation of vessels. Now let us see the next that is working substance. It is a substance which transfer the energy between the system and surrounding. Any substance, if that substance is transferring energy between the system and surrounding, that substance is known as a working substance. Then thermodynamic state, this is also a very important concept. The state of a system is the condition of a system at a particular moment which can be identify the properties pressure, volume, temperature. That means it states that the state of a system is a condition. State of a system is a condition at a particular point where it has some properties. It has some properties like pressure P1, volume V1. If suppose that state is 1, then we will get that properties as pressure P1, volume V1, temperature T1, that means that properties has particular values at that point, so that that points or that values consider as a state of a system. Then if you see in this image, in this diagram, there is the state change from 1 to 2. 1 is a state, 2 is also a state, because at point 1 it has a particular value of pressure, volume, temperature, and also at point 2 it has some different values of pressure, volume and temperature, that is P2, V2, T2, and that can be seen in this graph. Okay, now the second next, that is change of state. Any process in which one or more properties of a system changes known as a change of state. If already we have seen what is state. State means it is a condition of a system. That means it has a particular values P1, V1, T1 at point 1, then P2, V2, T2 at point 2. Then if the system changes from state 1 to state 2, if system changes from state 1 to state 2, in that case there is a change of state from 1 to 2. Then how we can define that change of state? Any process in which one or more properties of a system changes. That means that may be a pressure, that may be a volume, that may be a temperature. That is changing from a state 1 to 2, P1, V1, T1 to P2, T2. Then that complete, whatever is that, the complete change is known as a change of state. Then density is defined as mass per unit volume, that already all knows. Density is equal to mass per unit volume, mass divided by the volume. Then the specific volume of a system is specific volume is the ratio of total volume of system to its total mass. Specific volume, it is the ratio of total volume of a system to its total mass. Then we will see the definition of path. When a system passes through the continuous state changes of equilibrium state during the change of state, then it is known as a path. When system passes through the thermodynamic system changes its state through a series of state changes, then it is known as a path. When the path is completely specified, it is known as a path of the process. Then next is the process. When the path is followed completely specified state change, then it is known as a process. Or when path is completely specifies the change of state, when the path is completely specifies the change of state. If we are let's see the example of heating or boiling of water. If you have taken the water at normal temperature, normal room temperature 37 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Celsius, then we have started a burner to heat the water. Then after some time that water starts boiling. That means here are two states, that is First is the temperature T1 30 degrees Celsius, and the second is where the water is boiling, that is T2, that is 100 degrees Celsius. That is, there is the state change from 30 degrees Celsius to the 100 degree Celsius. So that there is a successful state change from 1 to 2. So that there is the starting of boiling of water. That means from normal temperature water starts boiling. This is completely known as a process. That means that state change is not only a state change, but a successful complete state change is required. Then and then only we can say a process. That state change as a process. Then cycle, thermodynamic cycle. It is the combination of two or more processes in which initial and final states are same. If you see this diagram here, the state is changes from 1 to 2 by the path A, then 2 to 3 by path B. Okay, that means if there is successful state change, then and then only this process A is said to be a process, B is said to be a process. Okay, then cycle is the combination of two or more processes in which initial and final states are same. Let us take the same example, that is there is a state change from 1 to 2 again, that state change from to 1. That means from P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2. Again that change is reversed. That means if we are started boiling the water, that water again cooled to its original temperature, that complete two processes are there, so that complete two processes are known as a cycle. Then in the another figure there is 4 processes, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. All are completely or combinatively it is known as a cycle. That means it is the combination of two or more processes in which initial and final states are same. That means initial state is 1 and final state is also 1. So that we can say it as a cycle. Then thermodynamic equilibrium. A system is said to be in a thermodynamic equilibrium if it satisfies the following 3 requirements of the equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium, to state that or to have a thermodynamic equilibrium, there must be 3 types of equilibriums. That is, first is the mechanical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. A system is said to be in mechanical equilibrium when there is no unbalanced forces acting on any part of the system or on a system as a whole. That means to have a system in a mechanical equilibrium, the system has balance forces on every part on or the total body of the system. Okay, that means there must not be any unbalanced forces which are acting on any part of the system. Then and only we can say that system in a mechanical equilibrium. That means equal forces that are acting on every part of the or any part of the system. Then second is the thermal equilibrium. The system is said to be in a thermal equilibrium when there is no temperature difference between the parts of the system or between the system. That means it is related to temperature difference. That means whenever the system in a thermal equilibrium, there must not be any temperature difference between 2 points on a body or any part. That means the system has a equal temperature at every point. The system has a same temperature, equal temperature at all the points. And then only we can say that system in a thermal equilibrium. Then the last, that is chemical equilibrium. The system is said to be in a chemical equilibrium only if when there is no chemical reaction within the system. When there is no any chemical reaction between the components of a system, then only that system is known as chemical. That system is within the chemical equilibrium.